What up, cappers, gamblers, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, September 23rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Our 6-show winning streak continues. Last night was good. It could have been great had I tailed the gift that TJ offered up here with Cardinals first 5 team total over, Cardinals first or full game over, a team total over. That was a gift. I don't know why I didn't receive it. Cardinals are now have a OPS over 1,000 OPS right now against lefties over the last 30 days, and it was a gift. But some good things happened. One, when we talked about the Phillies in that spot against Keegan Aiken, and I almost took another huge favorite, which I've only done twice this year, but I almost took the Phillies first 5 -1.5 -115. I realized that was a stupid thing to do. And I showed discipline with the Rangers-Yankees game, not taking the 4.5 at plus money and waiting till 15 minutes before first pitch, getting the 5 at -120. That was a push. So there was still good and a lot of good. We cashed that under in CFL. Those of you who stuck around for the CFL breakdown at the end, cashed that under easily. There was a lot of good that happened yesterday. 4-2 in MLB, 1-0 in CFL, 4-2 in MLB. We'll go over all that in a second, but I want to give a big shout out to everybody here in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Sammy Calmer, Real Deal Prime. Kevin said what happened with the Angels plus 1.5 last night. Unreal. Yeah, you can't trust the Angels bullpen, and when games go to extra innings, and the Astros offense is so hot right now. I mean, look, Cobb's pitching so well, but I don't know if I can trust him. I thought about betting him, but I don't know if I can trust him against McCullers. That was a tough break, no doubt, tough break. We got a Fap wins his best bet Texas money line, Texas Rangers money line for Fap and Australian racing today, Sunshine Coast. Let's pop that in. Fap is spectacular with his thoroughbred capping and a plus 290 handing out here on the Sunshine Coast. I will copy and paste that. Fap, it is great to see you, my guy. The exciting part of today's show is making money, and is also that Hunter Englehart will be making his Pub Sports Radio debut. He's got 3 best bets. Looking forward to rock with him. Lamont Williams in the house. Damon Santori ready to go. Henry Dice, Brian Watson, Evan L. Michael Irvelina had a 5-unit day yesterday. If the Dodgers would have won, I would have hit a 20-1 parlay, and Buehler case was a loss. Still stoked on the day. And Jose hit his play. He sure did. And Jimmy's coming back. You're right. In the last 6 days, when we came last week, Tuesday morning, it was one of those situations where a sport can get away from you. And MLB is very tough. It weighs on you. It's a never-ending season, it feels like, when you're struggling. And I was down over 15 units on the season. So we've got 11 units back in the last 6 days. And we're now very close to the black, which I desperately want. Pierre Suartas coming off a 7-0 day. There's Matty Ice, started play of the day. Michael Irvelina still riding the cards for the 9th straight day, loving this plus money on a hot team that's trying to get in against a Brewers team that doesn't care. I think they're starting to care. I don't think it's quite like the White Sox, who are clearly sort of going through the motions, although their bullpen's looking very good. I think they're starting to care. I think so. Mark Schillingberg says, what an absolute monster night last night. 9-2, hit 3 small parlays, plus 9.5 units. Attaboy, Mark, my man. Viper NB in the house. Gerald Jones. There's Maxwell Smart. Says, won't have to get fluids extracted under the bridge until possibly Saturday. Congratulations, Max. And spectacular work yesterday. And by the way, Max has FCS breakdowns and videos on his YouTube page right now. And I'm going to tweet out a couple of them today. So check out, if you're looking for FCS where Max is eating, check out his YouTube page. He's got great stuff there. Mike M in the house. Great to see you, Mike M. Thank you for joining us. Von Polo says, super excited for this week of NFL. So am I. Look at Picasso the Prophet. Yes. 2K day for Picasso the Prophet. Fuck yeah, man. I was happy with 480. The Red Jolly Roger says more CFL picks. Under was easy, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Real Jolly Roger? Wasn't it so easy? Wasn't it just tremendous? Now but if that +9 or even an 8.5 had been available for me, I would have taken the Redblacks and I would have lost. So I was quite fortunate that the market moved so quickly on the Redblacks and that I didn't see the value added at +6.5. They even went down to 6 by the final. So that was, while I'm sitting here, and I'm just 7-5 in CFL, so it's plus 1.25 units. But when you're running well, we're running real hot right now. We're making money right now, and those bounces sort of go your way. When you're struggling, the bounces don't go your way. But yeah, that was as relaxing as a casher as possible. Ottawa in the fucking rain. And shout out to Max. He nailed that game. He had Dominique Davis under 250 pass yards as well. It was glorious. Picasso Prophet says, only Jimmy brings the best out of me. No, Picasso Prophet, it is you. It is you, my man. We all work together, but you guys have to pull the trigger. It's one thing capping something right, but it's another thing betting it right. So great work. Nasty Nate told y'all Red Sox first 5. That was easy. Why was the money going towards the Mets? I don't know why that scared me off, but first 5, and that minus 135 was costly. Real Deal Prime saying nice hat. Thank you. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks. Dav Fenn ready to go. Clint Star, the Die Hard MMA podcast, and Double Taint Thursday. Double Taint Thursday says he will be at 57% on tomorrow's show. Tony Cobb's ready to go. Kenny Can. Baltimore, Texas, over 4.5, first 5. TJ says won't be able to stick around longer than 20 minutes. Take Chicago White Sox game 1. And TJ's play of the day is San Francisco money line. Let me make sure that I got that all locked in here. So Kenny Can's on Baltimore, Texas, over 4.5, first 5. Let's make sure I've got that ready for the breakdown. Baltimore, Texas. That's not one of the 3 games. We are going to go a little bit out of order today because the last 3 games of our MLB breakdowns will be with Hunter Englehart. So Kenny Can is there. And then TJ says take Chicago White Sox game 1. That will be the first game that we break down. And he says the TJ play of the day is San Francisco money line. Giants money line, and that is not part of Hunter's breakdowns. And that game pops off at 4:10 p.m. That is also the white hot Jose Bouquet Seje play of the day game, Giants Padres as well. So double taint. I'm looking forward to that. There's Dan Kelly, the legend in the house. Danny Lopez, Nasty Nate. 22-3. Jeez. Ulysses Hayes back in action. Viper says, I told you, Jimmy, you will. Viper, I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about what you said and your confidence in me, and I still got a lot of work to do. But I like that you have confidence in me, and I want it so fucking bad. I want it so fucking bad. Gerald Jones says, I'm liking my Atlanta Falcons, New York Giants under the number at 45.5. I find that a very difficult game. A very, very difficult game. Print department on the Rams. There's Sean Thompson. We're great cappers, Sean. He's Rodney Barton, too. We got all these great cappers. That's why we're eating. That's why we're winning. We're all working together. There's all these great cappers with the same goal in mind, not asking for anything. How selfless capping, looking at the greater good, beat these fucking books. That's the only thing we want, and it's what we're doing. It's what we're doing. Thank you for the kind words, Maxwell Smart. Exciting. The Schnizzle play of the day is on the Giants minus 106. Let me make sure I've got that locked, and then let's get right to work. So Schnizzle play of the day is on the Giants minus 106. And also, I did find this a tricky baseball card. John Kilpatrick says betting baseball this late in the season leads to a negative ROI. Well, that's certainly not happening here on the show. We've had 6 straight days, 6 straight shows of winning MLB capping, and I'm up over 11 units. And I think, John, it's just, when you bet MLB year after year after year after year, you know that the dogs bark. And I've had way more dogs over the last week and a half than I had all year long. So, but, John, if that's what your statistics tell you is that your ROI is poor in September, then stay off of it. There's so many other sports for us to win. So and there's so many sports. You don't need to force anything. Sean Thompson coming off a 5-1 day. I love that. In Opfa. What a great capper in Opfa. It's great to see you, my man. God, this guy is sharp. All right, it is time to get to work. There's Jeff Joseph says, any thoughts on Baffert pulling out Medina Spirit because of post position? Well, I'm disappointed as a horse racing fan. I'm disappointed. I wanted to fade Medina Spirit. I wanted to bet Hot Rod Charlie, and I wanted to get a number of Hot Rod Charlie. And as a fan, I'm upset. As a handicapper, that's probably what makes him such a good trainer. And that spot that they've chosen now at Santa Anita is much easier. But I'm upset. It pissed me off. He doesn't care. He didn't give a fuck about us. But yeah, it made me angry, Jeff. It made me upset. All right, let's get to work. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. There's Birmingham Savage, Anthony Velez, Truth, Eric Thomas. Let's go. Maxwell Smart says, I need Red Girl to guide me with her fire MLB picks. Isn't she a great capper? Peter Hansen says, any thoughts on Indians White Sox game 1? Let's get right to work. Quick review of yesterday. 4-2 plus 1.70 units in MLB. Red Sox first 5 minus a half, minus 135 was a casher. Minnesota Chicago Cubs first 5 under 3.5 was a loser. And a lesson was learned. I can't just trust what the wind data, the baseball data, or wherever you go for Wrigley Field wind. Deacon Mike went right to the Wrigley Field cam and he said, look, it's not blowing it. It's blowing slightly out to right. And then the whole premise of the bet is thrown out the window. So that was a learning experience with Deacon Mike, and that Minnesota Chicago first 5 under 3.5 was a loser by the end of the second inning. Dodgers Colorado first 5 under 5.5 was a loser. Toronto Tampa Bay under 9 cash. Houston LA over 9.5 cash. Seattle Oakland under 8.5 cash. And Texas New York first 5 under 5 was a push. And then we cashed that Hamilton Ottawa under 44 with tremendous ease. All right, let's get to work. 1:10 p.m. Eastern. We start with game 1 of the double dip. Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. White Sox 36-39 on the road. Cleveland Indians 37-38 at home. And again, I've not made a single bet yet on this card. 55 Fahrenheit, overcast, 18 miles per hour out to right center. At first, I thought, is this a Ronaldo Lopez bounce back spot? If you look at his numbers against the Indians, which we'll go over, they're spectacular. And Savali's been very good. My first thought was, this seems like an under spot. And it goes from 7.5 to 7. And again, I don't want the wind to play too big of a factor in the capping, but 18 miles per hour out to right center, and we watch it drop a half run was interesting. So it's gone from 7.5 down to 7, and the White Sox Pinnacle has not put out a money line. That doesn't make sense, but it's between minus 135 at Intertops and between minus 135 and minus 151 right now. And again, on today's schedule, we have MLB, then we go into NFL, and then we go into NCAA football. Creel says, how much did you put in the 7-9 mile per hour winds blowing in or out? I like the Braves Cardinals full game under, but the winds blowing out for both of them. Well, we'll break it down. And there's lots of cappers that I look up to in MLB, and they don't care as much about the wind as I sometimes do. Domi Gunricci being one of those guys. It's a very tough question. Every capper handles it differently. Matty Ice says 55 is cold. The wind blowing it will feel like 40-degree weather out there. There's Robert Cherry. Pamper Pop play of the day is the Cards game. Wainwright under 5.5 Ks. That would be Wainwright under 5.5 Ks for Robert Cherry. There's Piker in the house. You're damn right. Poker Addicted 79. You're damn right. I love you. Okay, so let me just pop this in above the Cardinals game so I know the Pamper Pop play of the day from our guy Robert Cherry. And that game is at 2:10 p.m. So usually that would be the very next game that we break down, but it is Hunter Englehart's first game on his card. So we're going to do that. There's Birdie in the house. Quick, Dan Kelly says, I did a little bit of work on the Ryder Cup to hit opening American tee shot 2/3 of a unit on Jordan Spieth at plus 550 and 1/3 of a unit on Justin Thomas at plus 500. Okay. So there's Top Set in the house. Thank you for joining us. All right, let's get back into action here. So Ronaldo Lopez, 3-3, 3 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, 48 innings, 47 Ks, 12 walks, 6 home runs. We know the White Sox are dealing with injuries to their starting rotation, and Ronaldo Lopez came in after dealing with injuries of his own and was awesome, spectacular. And then he hits his first road bump of the season last out. 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 7 Ks, and 9-3 loss at home versus the Angels. Rem Mo says, wasn't wind an issue in the Cubs game, and look what the total was. Yeah. Absolutely. Rem, so Eric Jones in the house. Let's move on to Savali. Savali, 11-4, 3.40 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, 89 Ks, and 111 and a third. Last start at the Yankees, he was excellent. 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and 11-3 win at the Yankees. White Sox versus righties. Last 30 days, they're not hitting them. And there's another look from Dan Kelly, US minus 3.5 at plus 150. White Sox versus righties, 261, 744 OPS. The Indians aren't hitting righties at all. They're hitting lefties, but they're not hitting righties at all. 237, 690 OPS. White Sox bullpen has really come together. 3.36 ERA, 1.08 WHIP, while the Indians bullpen has struggled after a good start to the year. They've not been quite as good. 4.29 ERA, 1.30 WHIP over the last 30 days. Joe Chris has another 5-0 night. Yeah, man, it just feels really good. Feels like we're all working together for the greater good, and we're seeing things clearly. All right, let's move on to baseball data here. And it's interesting. It's interesting that TJ likes White Sox game 1, and you would think that it has to be based on Ronaldo Lopez's excellent work against these Cleveland Indians. They're 4 for 40 against them. They're batting 100 with a 318 OPS, and it's Jose Ramirez with 3 hits and a homer. That's it. So if you take him out of the equation, then they are 1 for 26 against Ronaldo Lopez. 1 for 26 with a single. I mean, that has a bounce back spot written all over it, doesn't it? And then Savali, 256, 709 OPS. But the wind has me hung up here. It has me kind of hung up. So let's move over to the cash here and see what is going on with the cash flow. Sorry, it's not up right now. So let me just pull it up right now. Maybe the cash flow will tell a story. But my immediate thoughts, and we should probably bring up the lineups. Let's bring up the lineups as well. But my immediate thought was it makes me uncomfortable. I'm going to have to – I want the under. I'm interested in the under. And then I'm going to have to deal with guessing whether Lopez is – what happened last week. Is this going to be a bounce back spot, which I understand it is likely. And then how much is the wind going to play a part in all this? This game has 4,438 tickets on it. 60% of the tickets, 62% of that was the spread. 62% of the money line tickets and 84% of the cash on the White Sox, expecting Lopez to have this bounce back spot start. And then 59% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the over. The over, yet it's gone from 7.5 to 7. Skywalker DFS, how we miss you. Look who's in the house. Skywalker DFS. It is so good to see you, dude. Cray Dineros has won me some bread yesterday. That shit crew. Let's keep that going. Ulysses Hayes says Chicago White Sox money line. Michael Irvelina says I'm staying off White Sox and all teams so far up. They don't care, and the lineups always change before game time. That is a smart way of looking at it. There's Hunter Englehart, who will be making his debut here in about 40 minutes. Says I saw that Wainwright K-Prop too, but I stayed off it because Torres is calling the game. He's been loving his punch-outs the past 2 games. Piker is on the White Sox minus 130. And let's just take one look at the lineups, see if they are out. But in the past, I felt like I sort of needed action in the afternoon just to help me get through the day, just so I would enjoy the day. And lately, I've only been moving on afternoon games if I really like something. For the White Sox, Anderson, Moncada, Abreu, Grandal, Robert, Jimenez, Garcia, Sheets, and Hernandez. For the Tribe, Straw, Zimmer, Ramirez, Reyes, Bradley, Chang, and then the other Ramirez, Jimenez, and Hedges. At some point, at some point, La Russa's got to be concerned about how his baseball team is playing. We see this so often. Teams have no pressure on them, and then they go into the playoffs and they don't look good early. So, look, I don't want this, man. I can't do it. The wind is confounding. And Lopez, sure, we can expect a bounce back start from him. But I'm up 11 plus units in the last 6 days and 6 shows in MLB, and I just don't feel right here. Sean Thompson says Savali is bet on for me, and I get that. I get that. I'm not comfortable with the idea about, if they're handling the cold weather and if the wind is taking these balls for a ride or not. Zach Plesac has not been very good lately. He lost 8-0 at the Yankees last out, 6 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Again, the White Sox aren't hitting righties with a lot of power. Nice average of 261, but just 744 OPS. And we know the White Sox bullpen is rolling right now and looking very good. We'll take a quick look at the baseball data for this spot, but I think we really need to focus on what happens in Game 1 as to how we attack Game 2. And here we go for Plesac. He's at 222 with a 659 OPS. He gets these guys. He's not looked very good lately, but he gets these guys. Robert Cherry putting out his action. He's on the Dodgers under 9.5, Milwaukee over 3.5 Ks, Seattle under 5.5 Ks, Houston under 6.5 Ks, and on my way to the window at the bodega with this one, guys. Pamper Pop, respect Robert Cherry. Hunter Englehart says first 5 opened up at 5.5, now 4.5 with heavy juice on the under. That's a big change even with the wind. Yeah, it's. Thank you, Sean. I don't know if I would say that I'm doing great in MLB, but we're doing better than we've done in previous seasons, and the black is right there staring me in the face. Schnizzle says cold, damp, and windy here. Okay. We move on, and Michael Irvlina's on the Dolphins as well. I'm looking forward to watching that line go up and then moving on the Dolphins as well. Okay, we move on. That's a birdie leading in the way there. Okay, so that's the double dip. Let's move on to 3:10 p.m. action. Dodgers, Rockies, and we lost that first 5 under yesterday, and there was no scoring through 3 innings, and that looked quite good for us. Dodgers 97, 55, 45 and 32 on the road at the Rockies, 71 and 80, 46 and 28 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. 83 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour sideways in. Maximus Scherzer on the bump up against Kyle Freeland. Man, has Max Scherzer been pitching very, very well. And a parlay has been popped up. When I see, here's the parlay. When I see Dan say, I'm going to tail that parlay, I have to stop everything and see what Dan's talking about. It's a birdie NFL parlay. Lions money line, Miami money line, Washington money line at plus 4,283. It's copy and paster right there. It's right under Fat Faps, Sunshine Coast, Australian horse racing action. Okay, so Maxwell Stark says maybe a Kyle Freeland over a half base if available. That's something that Max has been eating on this year, by the way, taking pitchers to get over a half base at huge numbers, between plus 300 and plus 500 and up even. Okay, so back to this 3:10 p.m. start. Scherzer versus Freeland. Scherzer has been just a spectacular pickup at the deadline, and we knew he would be. This guy just cares so much. He's got so much passion for the game. 15-4, 2.08 ERA, 0.81 WHIP, 169 innings, 226 Ks, 35 walks, and 20 home runs. And again, we did skip the Cardinals game. It's Hunter Englehart's first action on his card, so don't worry, we're going to beat it up. Last start for Scherzer, 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 5-1 win at the Reds. Freeland on the other side, 6-8, 4.50 ERA, 1.41 WHIP, 108 innings, 97 Ks, 33 walks, and 20 home runs. Creo says Dodgers full game under 10.5. Scared to take the first 5 under 5, but I think the full game could cash as long as Max doesn't get hit. But doubting both Dodger aces don't get cracked back to back. I get that, Creo. Let's talk about Freeland. His last start was at the Nationals. We know what the Nationals do to lefties. It was a very good start. He's pitching very well right now. 6 innings, 7 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. At home, he's struggled. And a lot of the top young Rockies pitchers right now are pitching better at home than they are on the road. Sensatella, Marquez, not Freeland. Freeland at home is 3-3, 3.56 ERA with a 3.02 opponent's batting average, while on the road he's 3-5, 3.84 ERA and 2.68 opponent's batting average. Dodgers versus lefties, and let me know if I missed, because I know that Matty Ice is dropping a double taint Thursday. Dodgers versus lefties, 265, 836 OPS. They're hitting them, and they're not hitting righties. For whatever reason, I gotta see that again. Are they really hitting lefties that hard right now? So I'm just gonna move back to this against lefties. OPS. Wow, yeah, 6th in the league. They're so streaky against lefties. Schnizzle says it's cold and wet here, Jimmy. It's football weather in the land. These teams are going to start off slow. No run first inning, maybe a look. I gotta watch and see what happens here. But clearly, did I not? Oh, I did go. Yeah, clearly. What did the Sharps say on that, or where was the cash on that total for Game 1? The Game 1 total. Yeah, every 80. The big cash is on the over, but the market moving to the under. Tricky. Okay, let's stay with this Freeland start. So Freeland has been struggling at home. Now, he got off to a really bad start at home. Let's just pull out his game log and let's look at his last few starts at home, because we know he got off to a terrible start. Has he righted the ship? Because he's pitching so well lately. So let's just go to his game log very quickly. And here we go. So his last start at home was versus the Giants, and they smashed them. 7 earned runs and 4 homers. The home start before that, he looked good against Arizona. 2 earned runs and 7 innings. And then the one before that, Miami Marlins got to him for 4 earned runs and 5 innings. I just can't trust him at home right now, even though he's pitching so well. There's been a 19-cent move towards the Dodgers. They opened up at minus 233 at Pinnacle. They're now minus 252. Let's take a look if the cash flow follows that here at 3:10 p.m. Scherzer, Freeland, 4,425 tickets in. So the first thing that's going to happen is money's coming in on the Dodgers. They expect the Dodgers to move to minus 275. 82% of the tickets, 94% of the cash on the Dodgers. 57% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the over. And then let's just, if I was to make a move, and I stayed off this yesterday, thank goodness. But if I was to back, let's just see what the first 5 is here. First 5, alternate line. So minus a half is minus 170. Minus 1.5 is minus 105. That could be the look. That might be the look here. Let's just pop that into the calculator quickly. Oh, shit, that's the wrong calculator. Let's just pop that in the minus 1 calculator. Where the hell is my? Okay, here it is. So what would a minus? So to take the Dodgers on the minus 1 line, first 5 is minus 138. I think that's okay. I do. I think that's an okay look with the way the Dodgers are hitting lefties, having lost last game, needing to win the division. There's my guy Sharon in the house. What's up, my man? Trotwam joining us, our NBA expert. So I think that's okay value for me. Dodgers, first 5 minus 1, that would be at minus 138. Now, in saying that, let's go over to the baseball data and just make sure that Scherzer shuts these guys down, which is what I expect here. And Scherzer, they hit 170 with a 611 OPS. Against Freeland, 288 with an 866 OPS. Okay, that's going to make my card. Dodgers, first 5 minus 1 at minus 138. Now, I can understand and expect money to come in on the Dodgers over the course of this show. If this goes over minus 145, I won't bet it. It has to stay under minus 140. Next up, 3:37 p.m. Eastern, Seattle Mariners at Oakland Athletics. We're at Oakland Stadium in Oakland, California. Oakland Coliseum, 73 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 4 miles per hour sideways, slightly out to the right field pole. You say Kikuchi going up against Chris Bassett. Kikuchi 7-9, 4.32 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, 154 innings, 160 Ks, 58 walks, 27 home runs. Matty Ice says Scherzer struggles at Coors over his career. Why don't we just see what he's done this year? Because I'm sure he's been there this year. Sorry, I moved very quickly. And thank you for sharing that with us, Matty Ice. Because it was you guys that got me off that stupid idea I had about the Phillies first 5 at a big favorite. That's a lot to pay. So let's just go into his full splits here. And has he pitched at Coors here Stadium? Shit, he hasn't pitched at Coors this year, has he? He's just pitching so well right now, and they need him so badly. All right, Taint is in. The double Taint special is in. Maybe it's just too costly. He's just pitching so well right now. Taint is in. It's Brewers and Astros for Taint. Let me just have it ready to go. So the Astros, 9:38 p.m. Eastern, is one of the Taints. And backing the Brewers against Wainwright. And that's the first game that Hunter Englehart is breaking down. So let's pop that here. So Taint, double Taint is in. Taint is in. Piker says Kikuchi no bueno on the road. Kikuchi just hasn't been good since the All-Star break when he was an All-Star for the first time. Last start, 3 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, and 8-1 loss at the Royals. Now, we know the Royals are raking lefties, and the A's are just hitting them okay. 247, 33 OPS. Chris Bassett, 12-4, 3.22 ERA, 1.05 WHIP, 151 innings, 154 Ks, 35 walks, and 15 home runs. Last start, 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 K and a 9-0 loss at the White Sox. It's at home where he's been so good this year. 4-3, 2.55 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. On the road, 8-1. Win-loss record, thing of beauty, but 3.75 ERA and 234 opponents batting average. The Mariners aren't hitting righties. 226, 688 OPS. And the A's versus lefties, we went over those numbers already. The Mariners bullpen is starting to come back to earth. They looked so good there for a while. Over the last 30 days, 3.73 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. Remo says the Seattle Oakland has been under goldmine this series. Yes, Loshak gave it out on Tuesday. I didn't tell that. I wish I had. I bet it yesterday, and both of days have cashed. A's bullpen, 5.33 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Doesn't really make sense when you look at the guys in that clubhouse. I expect that bullpen to come together by the end of the year. But so Bassett opens up at -141. He's now -147. This total was initially juiced to the over 8.5 at Pinnacle. It's now juiced to the under 8.5. Let's take a look at the baseball data and then go into where the cash lies. Against Kikuchi, these A's are hitting 233 with a 786 OPS. Against Bassett, 269 with a 782 OPS. And then let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 3,190 tickets are in. We have 41% of the tickets on the Mariners, just 16% of the cash. 78% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the over. Yeah, it's moving to the under, which is wild. I don't trust Kikuchi here. I think the A's get it done at home here. And I think there's value with them on -1. Now, one thing let's just mention, though, if Oakland's the spot with 84% of the cash, why is it being such a short move? Let's just take a look at this move here, this market move at Pinnacle, and then we can make a decision here. So it's -147 now. So it got up to -153, got up to -156 at 1:40 in the morning. So money's coming back in on the Mariners, and I think that's just the implied probability standpoint. Joe Chris says exactly, don't trust Kikuchi. Deacon Mike says you need some coffee or sleep. You sound subdued. I got sleep. I'm just trying not to speak too quickly. That's one of my faults is I speak so fast. But I'm pumped up. I'm in control. I'm seeing things clearly. All right, so let's take the A's on the -1 line. I'm going to move on the A's on the -1 line. That is my second addition to this card. Now, maybe that doesn't quite make sense. And you know what? I guess it doesn't really make sense because the Mariners bullpen has been so much better than the A's bullpen. Why wouldn't I just focus on the first 5 and attack Kikuchi? Why wouldn't I just focus on the first 5 and attack Kikuchi? So let's see here on the first 5 very quickly. That's got to be the look here. Attack Kikuchi. Don't let this A's bullpen that's been so bad, but it's much more expensive. -170. Like the A's on the -1 full game line is going to give me a much better price. Let's just see what the price is on the A's first 5 -0.5 right now, and I fear that it's not going to be a nice price. -0.5 and -125. Focusing on the fade of Kikuchi. That makes sense to me. Oz B in the house. Ulysses Hayes says Seattle has Oakland's number this year. They do, but Flexen is just pitching very well right now. Bassett can change this up. I think Bassett can get this team moving in the right direction, but he's not. Neither of these pitchers are coming off really good starts. Maybe I'm reaching a bit here. Maybe I am reaching a bit here. Seeing the implied probability on the A's right here, I don't know. Real Deal Prime says that's the only look. George Gutierrez says he's due Kikuchi for a good game. Francis is on Oakland first 5 -0.5. I'm not certain about this spot. So first 5 -1, first 5 -0.5. I'm going to put a question mark beside it. Puzzler saying Bassett's coming off the ball to the face. Exactly, you're right. I totally forgot about that shot to the face. Okay, there's enough uncomfort. And Skiprov saying, yeah, Bassett's been out for a month. You know what happens when the pitcher gets hit in the face. He comes back a month later. It galvanizes the troops. Okay, I don't know if the risk reward is here, and of course that's why he only threw that 1 inning. Tim Montana says so go over first 5. All right, I'm gonna cut this. Spot, and there's talk in the chat that feels like an over. I get it, but I don't understand why the market is moving towards the under. That doesn't correlate. Okay. I'm off of this game. We move on to 3:40 p.m. Atlanta Braves at Arizona Diamondbacks. Braves 80-70, 43-34 on the road. Diamondbacks 48-104, 28-46 at home. Chase Field, Phoenix, Arizona. The roof is closed. And the roof has been open for the last 3 days, but it's closed today. Charlie Morton going up against Madison Bumgarner. North enter in the house. Sniffing the black. Yes, it's I'm hopeful. Charlie Morton versus Madison Bumgarner has been a tricky cap this year. Morton 13-6, 3.49 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 170 innings, 195 Ks, 54 walks, 16 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 3 walks, 3 Ks, and a 2-0 loss at the Giants. At home, 5-4, 4 ERA, 2.29 opponents batting average. On the road, 8-3, 2.95 ERA, 182 opponents batting average. He's been so good on the road. Going up against Mad Bum, 7-10, 4.56 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, 136 in the third, 115 Ks. His last start at Houston was a thing of beauty against a team that's raking lefties. He looked completely in control. He looked very, very strong. Goes 7 innings, lost 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 3 Ks. At home, he's been slightly better than he's been on the road. Well, the opponent's batting average higher, but not for as much power. 4-3, 4.26 ERA, 252 opponent's batting average. On the road, 3-7, 4.80 ERA, 223 opponent's batting average. The Braves are hitting lefties. The Braves are doing so poor against lefties. It makes me want to double check. Are they really this bad against lefties? It's crazy. 219 with a 675 OPS. Man, they miss Acuna when you look at numbers like that. And the Diamondbacks aren't hitting righties. 213, 632 OPS. Braves bullpen been so good lately. 2.97 ERA, 1.13 WHIP over the last 30 days. And the D-backs bullpen has been a little bit better. 4.50 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. I know they're not pitching very, very good. Okay, so let's move on to the baseball data here against these two starters. Against Morton, 289 with a 916 OPS, 11 for 38, but only 4 batters have seen him. And it's Peralta, 6 for 9 with the jack. Against Madison Bumgarner, 169 with a 538 OPS. He gets these guys, shuts these guys down. Wow. Okay, so let's look at the market here in this spot. Just for the first 5, the Braves are between minus 195 and minus 200, and this totals at 4.5. There's been a 1 cent move towards the under. Matty Ice says Atlanta, Arizona, full game under 8.5 at plus 100. Let's move over to the full game market moves, and let's take a look at the cash. This game is starting to look more and more appealing. The Braves open up at minus 182. They're now minus 198, a 16-cent move towards them. And this total opened up at 8.5 to minus 12, and it's moved to 9. Pinnacle's moved it to 9. Bet365 has moved it to 9. Huh. Very, very, very interesting. 3,900. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. 3,896 tickets in. 85% of the tickets, 93% of the cash on the Braves. 57% of tickets and 57% of cash on the over. Wow. It makes me think that actually, Bourne's just been too good on the road this year. But it makes me think there could be a tiny bit of value on the Diamondbacks' first 5. They're plus 170. And then when we go first 5 plus a half, they're plus 100. Diamondbacks, first 5 plus a half. Still getting that plus line. That's appealing. That's appealing. But Joe Chris says Atlanta first 5 run line. How does it look? I just think Bumgarner is locked in right now, and the Braves aren't hitting lefties. It does feel like it could not only be a low-scoring first 5, but there might be value on the D-backs first 5 plus a half. I'm interested in both. I really am. I'm interested in both. So this full game has gone to 9 at Pinnacle. Let's just move over to Pinnacle right now. So Pinnacle's moved it up to 9 at 7:38 in the morning. Are they going to give me their movement on the first 5? They're not. Let's go to Bet Online. They will. Let's go to totals. Just sticking there at 4.5. Joe Chris says it's a trap. Diamondbacks first 5. George Gutierrez says I need one of those hats. I mean, just go to pubsportsradio.com. This is a razor sharp pick special. Okay, I think this is my move here. First 5 under 4.5 and first 5 plus a half. We know the roof is closed. It's been open for 3 days. Does everybody else know that the roof is closed today? Okay, we move on to 4:10 p.m. It is the for shizzle ixnizzle play of the day. Giants full game. And the TJ play of the day is the Giants full game. Not only that, but it is also sweet Jose Bouquet, who's running hot right now, running very hot. It is his Say Hey play of the day. Please welcome to the show, Jose Bouquet. How are you, Jose?
Just glad not to be forgotten. That's what I've come. Just glad to not be forgotten.
All right. That was Jose Bouquet's Say Hey play of the day. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. We're talking Giants Padres at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Logan Webb up against Yu Darvish. Webb 10-3, 2.79 ERA, 1.10 whip, 132 in a third, 141 Ks, 32 walks, and 9 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, no walks, 9 Ks, and a 6-5 extra inning win at home versus the Braves. At home this year, Logan Webb being very good. 5-0, 1.76 ERA, 208 opponent's batting average. On the road, 5-3, 3.68, 248 opponent's batting average. Still a very good season overall. Yu Darvish, 8-10, 4.13 ERA, 1.06 whip, 157 innings, 186 Ks, 37 walks, 27 home runs. His last start at the Cardinals was quite good. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks, and a 3-2 loss. At home, 6-4, 3.19 ERA, 208 opponents batting average. On the road, 2-6, 5.61 ERA, 241 opponents batting average. The big difference here is the Giants versus righties compared to the Padres versus righties, and the Giants bullpen compared to the Padres bullpen. I mean, just huge advantages for the Giants. Giants are hitting 281, 838 OPS versus righties. Padres are hitting 229, 670 OPS versus righties. This isn't the first time the Padres have opened up their checkbooks and not seen any help in the win-loss column. The Padres bullpen, 5.18 ERA and 1.40 WHIP. Schnizzle says, Jose, great call yesterday. Way to be, my guy. A lot of love for Jose's Army, and Jose's having a good season. He's having a good season. Let's bring up his record right now. 40 wins, 38 losses, plus 4.19 units, plus 5.37%. Let's bring him back onto the show. Jose, my friend, Giants, Padres, what's your look here?
Well, unfortunately, I have to agree with everyone in the chat. Giants money line. Darvish is an every other start kind of guy. Struggles one start, goes out there and dominates the next start. Last couple of starts for Darvish, 7 no earned, 4 8 earned against these Giants. 6 1 earned, 2 2/3, 6 earned. 6 earned. It's just a back and forth kind of thing. So give me Giants money line. Logan Webb is the boogeyman that sleeps under your bed at night. He will come for you. He is a dominator. Just listen to these innings. In an era where pitchers don't go deep into ball games anymore, Logan Webb, last couple of starts, 7 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings, 6 innings, 7 1/3, 6, 6, 6, 6. So give me the Giants today, money line.
I get it. It feels like the Padres have given up. But Padres hit 364, 951 OPS off Logan Webb. The Giants hit 225, 824 OPS versus Darvish. Let's go over to the market moves here. So we have TJ, Schnizzle, and Jose all backing the San Francisco Giants. Padres open up at minus 114 as favorites. Now the Giants are minus 110 favorites. This total opened up at 8. It has moved to 7.5. Let's move over to the cash here. 3,997 tickets in, 85% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on the Giants. And then we have 24% of the tickets on the under, but 58% of the cash on the under. Also, Domi Gun Ricci on the Giants. Wow. So you have no concern over the Padres against Webb. And it's not Tatis. Tatis 0 for 5 against them. It's Will Myers 3 for 6 with a homer. Profar 2 for 4. Grisham 3 for 5. Cronenworth 2 for 4. Hosmer 3 for 6. Machado 2 for 7. You just think what is the biggest angle here? Is it Logan Webb, or is it the fact that the Padres are falling apart?
I would lean more towards the Padres and Yu Darvish just not being all that great. The bullpen has fallen apart for them, like we said, and I'm looking through Mr. Logan Webb's starts. Last time he faced the Padres seems to be 430. I don't know what month that is because I'm a big dumb idiot, but that's a long time ago. So and in that start, at the Padres, 6 innings pitched, only 3 earned. So I think, obviously Logan Webb has been dominant this year. He's been different as Molly the dog licks my hand right now. But he's been a different pitcher this year. I think some of those stats, I'm not 100% sure, but they could probably be from past years as well as from this year. So I think Webb is just simply a different pitcher. I think Yu Darvish is not a good pitcher, especially on a team that has been kind of mentally just kind of crushed and a bullpen that's not very good. I almost took first 5 -1/2 for plus money shot, but right now in Pinnacle, you can get the full game. I have him on Bovada right now. I'll look up Pinnacle in a second, but full game, you can get him at -115. And that just seems too easy to pass up. I mean, maybe we'll all look dumb. We'll all lose on the Padre or the Giants together. And by the way, Giants are -110 on a Pinnacle. So look around. You can get a good line. But I just think the Giants are one of the best teams in baseball for a reason, and I would rather bet on one of the best teams in baseball than a team that just collapsed, going to get their head coach fired, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense. Other than the numbers against Logan Webb and then Darvish's numbers at home, I can understand why the market's moving in that direction. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger with you guys. I think I might just sit back and cheer you guys on. But the Giants look like the move. Ixnizzle play of the day on the Giants. Domi Gunrichi on the Giants. TJ play of the day on the Giants. And now Jose on the Giants. Jose, you look very serious. You're having yourself a very good season. I'm proud of you. Keep the winners coming, my friend. And thank you for sharing your hard work with us. Any last words?
Yeah, I want to know, Jimmy, what would I have to do to get you to tell one of our plays? 3 of us are on the Giants. What else would it take for you to bet the Giants?
I just don't know if I want to take a clear public road team against a pitcher and a pitcher who's capable of stepping up. And here, I mean, looking at Webb's splits, I mean, he's unbelievable at home and he's good on the road. If I had a free play, I would definitely take the Giants. And it's not about not wanting to tail it. I don't know if this game is as easy as it looks because Darvish is capable of twirling a gem. And maybe I just need some more time to sit with it.
I gave you the easy plus money spot yesterday, Jimmy, and you didn't take it. So I don't know. I would have to hold you over a barrel, threaten your dogs, threaten your everyone in your life for you to tell one of my picks here.
But your pick yesterday, I loved it because it correlated with my Red Sox first 5.
Hey, you didn't ride with me. You weren't a rider. You weren't a part of Jose's army last night.
No, but I was cheering you on.
That doesn't do me any good, Jimmy. I need you to be a part of Jose's army. When you tail me, you're a part of Jose's army, and we win, we all win. We all celebrate together. When we lose, we all feel like shit together. And Jose's army, we're running deep right now. Banana Grapes, one of my favorite names in here. He's in Jose's army. Jose's army is tiny but mighty, Jimmy. Just remember that.
Look, Jose, we have the proof here of how strong a capper you are in MLB, and I believe in you very, very much. And there will be many times where I tail your action as we move forward, but I'm just a little uncomfortable here. But I respect your work. And let's just go over it one more time with pressure on him. He is 40-38 plus 4.19 units, an ROI plus 5.37% with an average line of plus 104. I'm proud of those numbers. You've done a great job. And you are an asset to us all, Jose. Good luck on your action. And that is Jose's Say Hey play of the day.
Thanks for not forgetting me again. Appreciate it.
There he is, Jose. We move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals at Cincinnati Reds, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Nats 63-89, 28-46 on the road at the Reds, 78-74, 40-36 at home, 65 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 10 miles per hour out to right center, and Patrick Corbin going up against Luis Castillo. One thing that we've seen with these pitchers, and TJ pointed out, is when at least very focused on of late, when they're supposed to pitch and they don't pitch that day, they pitch the next day, they get touched. We saw Marquez get touched for a bunch of runs last time this happened to him, and now it's happening to Luis Castillo, which makes me a little hesitant to back him, especially when the Reds are hitting just 203, 624 OPS versus lefties. Look, I know that Corbin's been a train wreck, and nobody wanted him at the trade deadline. 8-15, 6.11 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. His last start was atrocious. 6-0 loss at home versus the Rockies. 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 homers for the Rockies against them. But Castillo is coming off that incredible start at Chavez Ravine. No, it was at home, excuse me. It was at home against the Dodgers. And He's been good all year at home, but he thought he was going to pitch yesterday. And I'm a little hesitant to back a big favorite in this spot. But the Reds bullpen has turned their season around finally. 3.78 ERA, 1.13 whip over the last 30 days. Let's quickly go into the market here in this spot. We have the Reds opening up at minus 195. They're still at minus 195. This total's gone from 8.5 to 9. So they're still at minus 195. No movement on Cincinnati, but yet 60% of the tickets and 69% of the cash are on the Reds. 56% of the cash, 59% of the tickets are on the under. Top set says Nats bats are awake. Is this? Let's go to baseball data. I do not want to trust. There's been a couple times after that one good start we saw of Patrick Corbin. One good start, I backed him and it blew up in my face. Last thing I want to do is go back to that well. Against Corbin, these Reds are only hitting 261 with a 671 OPS. So an okay average, 18 hits, 18 for 69, but just 3 are for extra bases with 2 doubles and a homer. And against Castillo, 143 with a 485 OPS. But I'm a little concerned that his routine is out of whack. I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with this game. It just makes me a little uncomfortable because of what we saw last week or last few weeks with pitchers expecting to pitch one day, having it rained out, pitching the following day, and just sort of not being locked in. Okay, let's move on. We have 2 more games before we jump into the big Hunter Englehart Pub Sports Radio debut. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Texas Rangers at Baltimore Orioles. The Kenny Can play of the day is on the over 4.5, first 5 for Kenny. Camden Yards, Baltimore, Maryland, 68 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 6 miles per hour, sideways in. This is a tricky start with 2 young studs or 2 young pitchers with a lot of potential. Glenn Otto looked so good in his first few starts, but he's been hit hard lately. But he's gone up against pretty tough lineups. His last start, 3 1/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 walks, 3 Ks, and a 12-1 loss at home versus the Astros. The Astros had already seen him before, and he looked good in that very first start. He didn't allow a run to the Astros through 5, and they saw him again, and they hit him very, very, very hard. Very hard. Next up here, Zach Lowther. Zach Lowther out of Xavier. He was drafted in the 2nd round by these Orioles. This year he's gone from rookie ball to high A to double A to triple A. Across all 4 leagues, he was 0-6 with a 5.49 ERA, 1.55 whip, 45 Ks and 39 1/3, 18 walks and 4 homers. He's not looked good. He's not looked good in the minors. He's not looked good in the majors, where he's 0-2 with a 9.61 ERA, 1.83 whip. The Orioles are hitting okay versus righties. For some reason, I missed this Rangers versus lefties, and geez, they're not hitting him at all. 204 with a 584 OPS versus lefties. It does. Sorry, I don't know what that poll is. I guess.
Jimmy, thanks for mentioning the poll. Yes.
What is the
Jimmy,
poll?
Thank you.
Can you pop it up? I can't see it.
YouTube has a lovely feature where you can have polls now, and there's a poll going on in the chat for YouTube right now. Are you a part of Jose's army? Results are early right now, Jimmy. 43 votes. 56% of people say yes. A whopping 44% of people say no. But I love it. So that's the poll. Thank you for asking about it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so I wish the Rangers could hit lefties. If the Rangers could hit lefties, I would happily back them here in auto to have a bounce back start. The Orioles open up at minus 118. The Rangers are now minus 116 favorites. I mean, who do you trust here with the young careers of Lowther and Otto? We've seen Otto look good. Lowther's been shit all year, whether it was in rookie ball, single A, double A, triple. Now, look, Lowther is a 2nd-round pick in the 2017 draft. There's high hopes for him, but let's see where the cash is here. We have 53% of the tickets, 52% of the cash on Otto, 60% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the over. I guess this is just a question, just a giant question mark that we shouldn't have anything to do with, but it does feel like Otto is the guy that we should trust in the market moving over there for a reason. And Lowther just looks awful. But that was the Red Sox. Now, you know what? What the fuck? Why am I talking about these two shit teams and these two pitchers that are pitching poorly? Why would I put any of my money on either of them, trusting either of them? But if I had a free bet, I would trust Otto over Lowther. Losing it in the house. Thank you for joining us. We move on to 9:38 p.m. Eastern. This is the last game before the debut of Hunter Englehart, and it is our first Taint play of the day. Taint play in action here. He is on the Astros run line. We cashed the over yesterday in the Astros Angels game. We cashed the Astros -1 first 5 the day before. We are reading this well, and now we get to sweet Taint on Astros run line. Astros, Angels, Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California, 75 Fahrenheit, clear, 7 miles per hour, out to right center. Lance McCullers going up against Alex Cobb. And Cobb has been really good lately. But I can't get over what the Astros have done to him in his career. And McCullers, who's been better on the road than he's been at home, is probably not somebody that I want to fade here. Ski Profit, like in the first 5, under 4.5, and I get that look. McCullers, 3.11 ERA, 1.25 whip on the year, 176 Ks and 115 and a third. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 8 Ks in a 6-4 loss in extra innings. At home, 5-3, 3.54 ERA, 212 opponents batting average. On the roads where he shines, 7-1, 2.53 ERA, 207 opponents batting average. The pimp slap play of the day is the Angels' first 5 under 4.5, and Ski Profit also on that spot. Let me copy and paste that right now. Also on that spot. So hit that there. Okay, so Cobb, 8-3, 3.59 ERA, 1.23 whip, 89 Ks, 82 and 2/3. He's looking like that pitcher for the Rays 5 years ago. And he struggled on the road this year, 3-2, 4.99 ERA, 281 opponents batting average, but you get him in Angel Stadium. He's been very good. 5-1, 2.30 ERA, 192 opponents batting average. Astros are smashing righties right now, 281, 790 OPS. Angels versus righties, 231, 676 OPS. The Angels bullpen's been so bad last 30 days, 5.39 ERA, 1.54 whip, while the Astros bullpen, 3.99 ERA, 1.26 whip. I get why you guys are on the first 5 under. Let's just talk about the baseball data so we get that out of the way. In this spot, we have against Cobb, the Astros are hitting 339 with an 822 OPS. So 19 for 56, but just 5 extra base hits and no homers. Against McCullers, 179 with a 505 OPS. I think you guys are onto something with this under. This full game's gone from 9 to 8.5. Let's move over to the first 5. The first 5 here was originally juiced to the over. It's now juiced to the under 4.5. Let's go to the market here. 2,383 tickets in, 71% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the Astros, and then 72% of tickets, 83% of cash on the over. And I assume that there's some confidence that as soon as they can get Cobb out of the game, that the Astros can feast on the bullpen. I like it, and I'm going to ride with you guys. First 5 under 4.5 is an addition to my card. First 5 under 4.5. When we were on the over last night, it was 86 Fahrenheit at first pitch. It was about 8 miles per hour, wind out. Now it's 75 Fahrenheit. When it's hot in Angel Stadium, the ball just soars. It's not that hot today. So I am adding this first 5 under 4.5. And the taint play today is the Astros run line. All right, it is now time to introduce to you. And now the OG low baggers will remember our guy Hunter from our old show down in Costa Rica. And he is back in action right now, making his pub sports radio debut. Please welcome to the show, Hunter Englehart in the house.
Jimmy, my man, what's up? Finally got to do this. We've been trying
Hunter, we need your volume pumped up, man. Can we get some louder volume there?
How about that? That better?
That is better. That is better. How are you, my guy? Welcome to Pub Sports Radio.
Yeah, you've been crushing it. We finally got to do this. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while, and I got busy. You were busy. Things were crazy. So it's good we're finally getting this done.
It is good, and we are excited to have you rocking with us. I've watched you beat up MLB over these last 4 years, and as you know, we work together to defeat the juice, and I'm really excited to have you rocking with us. Let's get right into it. You start at 2:10 p.m. Eastern. This game pops off in 2 hours and 3 minutes. St. Louis Cardinals at Milwaukee Brewers. Cardinals 82-69, 40-36 on the road. Brew Crew 91-61, 42-35 at home. We're at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't know what's going on with the roof here. It is 16 mile per hour wind out to right, and it's only 61 Fahrenheit. It does get warmer as the game goes on, but I tried to get roof information. I don't know if anyone has roof information. I don't know if it will be open. We have Adam Wainwright going up against Adrian Hauser. Wainwright, at 40 years old, has blown all of our minds. 16-7, 2.89 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. He had terrible home road splits in the past. He doesn't have those bad splits last year. He started out with bad splits, but he's fixed them up. His last start was real nice. 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, just 2 Ks and a 3-2 win at home versus the Padres. Hauser coming off a rough start. He looked so good there for a few starts, and then he got beat up at home versus the Cubs last out. 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. He's much better at home than he is on the road. 6-3, 3.96 ERA, 235 opponents batting average on the road. At home, 3-3, 2.93 ERA, 221 opponents batting average. Let me set a table for you, Hunter, and watch you roll. This is the market that we are dealing with right now in Cardinals Brew Crew. This total opened up at 8. Slightly juiced to the over. It's come back to basically a pick 'em. So there's been a 6-cent move to the under. Milwaukee opening up at minus 119. They're now minus 108. An 11-cent move to the St. Louis Cardinals. Hunter Englehart, first game on Pub Sports Radio. Cards Brewers, take it away.
Yeah, I usually don't bet full games. I try to stay away from full games. I usually just focus on the first 5 because, you know, the starting pitcher information that we get and the information that we can cap off of, if they do their job based on our information, you know, they should go at least 5 innings. So I try to stay away from full game because once bullpens get involved and once guys get 3 at-bats plus against pitchers, things can get out of hand. And I primarily focus on plus money or even money bets. It's really hard in baseball when, you know, one pitch can an underdog that's plus 180 can beat the best team in the league based on one pitch, which could be the umpire's fault. It couldn't even be anybody else's fault. So the less pitches that we can get in on this, I think is the best way to succeed when you're playing plus money plays like I am. But I'm on the under 4 first 5 in this one. I got it last night at plus 103. I believe a couple places it's down to minus 105 or minus 110 at 4. But then I also see a 3.5, which is I think plus 110 or something like that on FanDuel. So it's moving the direction I thought last night, which is good. And all my other plays today are moving in the direction that I'm on. So we'll hope that works out. But I'm with you, Wainwright. Wainwright's been tearing it up for how old he is, especially like you talked about the San Diego start. His actually past 3 starts, he's got a 2.66 ERA, and that's not against bad teams. I mean, that's a good offense in the Mets. Sometimes Mets fans might disagree with me, and the Dodgers as well over that time span. And a big number that jumps out to me with Wainwright is when there's nobody on base, hitters are hitting 214 against him, but when they're in scoring position, runners are hitting 184 against him. So however old he is, when it's time, when runners are in scoring position, he's bearing down and getting the job done. Milwaukee's actually bottom 3 in the league in first five runs per game, as well as they're worse in batting average, slugging percentage, and OPS at home instead of away. So first time through the order, they hit 241 off starting pitchers and then down to 223 second time through the order, 255 third time through the order, but hopefully they don't get to third time through the order in the first 5, or that over bet is probably hit on the first 5. And also Wainwright he's smart enough. He's been around. He can pitch to fly balls. He can pitch to ground balls. This Brewers team is not good against the ground ball, so they're hitting 225 against the ground ball. So he's going to primarily focus on getting the ball down and throwing off speed and trying to get guys to hit ground balls for their worst, I guess you could say, deal at the plate. And then Hauser, I'm with you. He's off a bad start against the Cubs, but his last start against the Cardinals, he threw a complete game. What do we got here? 3-hit shutout, complete game. Against righties, guys are hitting 195 off them, and I think the Cardinals today are going to have probably about 6 or 7 right-handed guys. It's a day game. They were off a night game last night. I know the Cardinals have been hot, and you never want to bet against a team that's hot. But they were the night game last night. They got a day game today. I'm figuring they're going to take a little while to at least get rolling. And the Cardinals are hitting 203 against power pitchers, striking out more than 1 out of every 4 times. So I think everything in this game points to the under. I can see 2 runs, maybe 3, but I think under 4 around even money is a good look.
Great breakdown, Hunter. This makes a ton of sense. And also, we have the second taint play of the day involved in this game. Taint 2 is on the Brewers and Hauser. And Matty Ice saying Hauser shuts down these Cardinals. The Cardinals are hitting 239 with a 662 OPS against them, and against Wainwright, 250 with a 680 OPS. This makes a ton of sense. Cards versus righties, 240, 709 OPS. Brewers versus righties, 239, 706 OPS. I wonder about this fucking roof. I really wonder about this roof, because I would guess in a Cardinals-Brewers spot like this, with the roof closed and Hauser going up against Wainwright, that it would be a 3.5. And to see the 4 over the 4 juiced, that's the only thing that I'm concerned about. So if I'm going to be sitting here figuring this out until first pitch, because we're just under 2 hours from first pitch. But if this roof is closed, I'm going to jump on this with you immediately. Everything works.
I don't want to jinx you. I don't want to jinx you, but Hauser hasn't give up a home run since July, so I might jinx him there. But because I think we're worried about the Cardinals staying hot here, and I think Hauser's the guy to shut them down. Just hard stuff, 95, 98, sinking stuff. I mean, overpowering. So I don't care if the roof is open or closed in that situation.
I like it. And Matty Ice says, yup. So we have the Hunter Englehart first spot on the card is the under 4 at plus 103. It's available right now at Bet365 at plus 100. And I'm very interested in it, but I do want the roof information. We have some guys in the chat on the Cardinals, but a lot of people also backing Matty Ice on the Brewers, Real Deal Prime on the Brew Crew as well. So the taint play of the day, number 2 right here, and it is the Brewers. We move on to Hunter's next spot on the card. Pittsburgh Pirates at Philadelphia Phillies. We're at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Pirates 23-53 on the road. Phillies 44-33 at home. And rain is going to be a problem, but it does stop raining at about 2 hours probably after the expected first pitch time. 7 miles per hour sideways, slightly out to right. Connor Overton going up against Aaron Nola. Look, Connor Overton was given away for nothing by the Jays, and that made me judge him probably wrong because the Jays needed bullpen help so badly, and they didn't feel like Overton could help. He goes over to Pittsburgh, and 11 2/3, 6 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 9 Ks. And that's combined with Toronto. His last start was August 16th. Versus the Reds. He went 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. His last appearance was 4 days later against the Reds. And so he was going to see the Reds 3 straight times. And that made me a little nervous for him yesterday. But now he doesn't have to see the Reds. He's seeing the Phillies. And also, he wasn't expected to go an inning or 2. I don't think this will affect him as much as it affects the starters who are expecting to go one day and then are pushed the next day. So I wouldn't be surprised if Connor Overton can get through a couple good innings. And the Pirates bullpen has been pretty good over the last 30 days. 3.88 ERA, 1.28 whip, going up right after him. Next up, we have Aaron Nola, 8-8, 4.48 ERA, 1.11 whip. Last start, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 Ks, and the 5-3 win at the Mets. At home, he's been good this year. 4-3, 3.45 ERA, 221 opponent's batting average. On the road, he's been a fade. We've done great fading him. 4-5, 5.32 ERA, 246 opponent's batting average. Phillies are raking against righties right now. Last 30 days, 264, 797 OPS. Pirates versus righties, 244, 708 OPS. Let's set the table here and watch Hunter roll. This is game 2 for his card. The Phillies open up at minus 237. They're now minus 272. Jesus. 35-cent move towards them. This total was initially juiced to the over 8.5. Now it's juiced to the under 8.5. Hunter Englehart, Pirates, Phillies, take it away.
Yeah, last night I'm on the under 4.5 first 5 this game. Last night it was minus 101, kind of even money. Now it's juiced towards the under 4.5 at minus 115, depending on where you get it. But I mean, you broke down kind of Nola and Overton pretty much. I don't really have to say much there, but we're really capping Overton on this one. If he goes 1 or 2 innings, I think it doesn't look as good for us. But if he can get first time through the order and maybe the leadoff guy in the 2-hole hitter, the Phillies, if he can give us 3 quality innings, I think we're going to do this. I mean, his back's up against the wall. This guy's been 10 different teams, went up through indie ball, so he's kind of like a now or never kind of guy, and that guy's backed against the wall, and he's proven usually with those guys, you got to prove that you can do it under pressure, and like you said when he faced the Reds, I mean, he came off throw really well. A lot of the times with these guys who come up here, base on balls is a problem, and he's only had 3 walks in his past 11.2 innings. So I mean, I'm betting on Overton to hopefully keep him 1 run, maybe 2 within the first 3 innings, and I think we have a good shot to do this. Nola's been hit or miss, like you said. Away, he's been really bad, but he's a reverse splits guy, and this Pirates team's going to throw out probably 6 or 7 lefties in that lineup, and he actually pitches better against lefties. 214 lefties are hitting against him this year, and then 3 ERA against Pitt last time he threw, but Pitt only hit 143 off him. So there's some stuff that happened in there. This Overton guy throws hard too. Phillies are not great against hard throwers, and they haven't scored any runs in the first 5 innings, I believe, in their last 3 games. So hopefully they can continue to struggle in the beginning and pick up at the end. The Pirates, I don't think the Pirates are going to score at all in the first 5 innings, to be honest with you. They're hitting 214 with runners in scoring position, and then 188 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And as a team, they're hitting 230 the past 7 days. So I think as long as Overton makes 3 innings, if you see Overton get the 3rd out in the 3rd inning, I would feel really good about this one.
I like this look. And by the way, Deacon Mike says currently the roof in Milwaukee is open, and the market is telling us that. So that just confirms that. Thank you so much, Deacon, for looking into that, because this would be a 3.5 for sure if the roof was closed. Great breakdown. And quick shout out to Fat Wally. Fat Wally, I didn't realize that you made your debut last night on Razor's show. I wish I was there, and definitely would love to have you on our Breeders' Cup shows. Love you, Wally. Okay, so this breakdown, another great breakdown that makes a ton of sense to me. Market moving in this direction. The Phillies aren't hitting righties. The Pirates aren't hitting righties. Phillies are. And the Pirates bullpen's being improved, which makes so much sense to see this total go from 8.5 to 8 in the full game. But it looks like we're still getting that 4.5 that is juiced, which makes sense to attack. When we go to the baseball data here in this spot against Nola, just 208, 505 OPS. It's almost makes me think that when you say I don't expect the Pirates to get a run against Nola, it makes me think that
they might get one. I don't want to jinx myself. One might get into one, but I think the most that they'll score in the first 5 innings with Nola in this spot is one run.
And the -1 is around the same price as the Scherzer first 5 -1, which it'll be a little higher. That Scherzer -1's -138. Here is about a -142. And let's just go into the cash flow in this game. So 73% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Phillies. The Phillies are supposed to move to -290 soon. Then we have 68% of the cash and 68% of the tickets, 91% of the cash on the over. And you would expect that all that money came in when it hit 8, but I don't have that in front of me. This first 5 under makes a ton of sense to me. And I really believe in the capping here with that Cardinals Brew Crew spot. But with the roof open, I'm going to watch this one and cheer you guys on. But this spot here makes me want to move on it. My only concern is, again, the rain and what it will do to Nola. So I like both your looks very, very much. And I'm on the fence just because I like everything to be in a real neat line when I make a move, and the rain does concern me a little bit, but both spots make sense. Let's move on to the final game on Hunter's card, and I can't wait to hear this breakdown because this game is near and dear to our hearts up here. 7:40 p.m. Eastern, Toronto Blue Jays 85-67, 42-36 on the road at Minnesota Twins 67-85, 34-40 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 70 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, sideways across the diamond. Steven Matz versus Michael Pineda. Both these pitchers have seen the opposition, and I still don't trust Steven Matz, and I should. 13-7, 3.84 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, 140 and 2/3, 133 Ks. His last start, 6-2 win at home versus these Twinkies, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walk, 5 Ks. Michael Pineda, he's such a bulldog on the mound. He's such a tough-looking dude, and I always expect him to be a little better than he ends up being, but he's had a pretty decent year. 7-8, 3.74 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, 81 Ks and 98 and 2/3. Last start, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, only one of which were earned, 1 homer, 2 walks, 2 Ks, and a 7-3 win at the Jays. Now, the Jays are smashing righties, 262, 805 OPS, and the Twins aren't hitting lefties, 216, 667 OPS, and both bullpens have been quite good of late. But I just feel like Pineda would have more tricks in the bag than Matt seeing this lineup again the second time. Let's see what Hunter has to say about this spot. This first 5 total is sitting at 5. Full game here. Pull this up. Full game here. The Jays open up minus 145. They're now minus 138. A 7-cent move towards the Minnesota Twins. Hunter Englehart, your third spot on this card. Jays, Twinkies, take it away.
Yeah, I'm on the Twins first 5 money line here. Last night we got it at 126, and I think right now it's down to plus 110. So hopefully that's a good sign. But I'm betting on Pineda here and the Twins. They're coming off a sweep of the Cubs, and they're coming home for this home opener. They lost 2 out of 3 in Toronto. So getting this first win, Toronto at home, coming off a sweep of the Cubs. I'm just rolling the thing in baseball is it's a streaky game. You know, you see guys like Cardinals right now are 10 wins or whatever it was. So when teams are feeling good, they're feeling good here. So I like the Twins at home with plus money. Pineda's pitching his best baseball of the year. I think he's got an under 2 ERA in the last 30 games. And I don't hate Matz. I think Matz is a pretty good pitcher. I don't think he's going to get absolutely shelled, but I'm going to play Pineda on this, especially when I got it at plus 126. I think this is a good spot for plus money. Like I said, I mean, most of my bets are not, I don't put anything over minus 110. So I'm looking for that plus money stuff, even money stuff that happens and read into that stuff. The Twins have scored 4 runs, averaged 4 runs in their last 3 in the first 5 innings. I know they played the Cubs, but it's still in their mind. They're up at the plate. Donaldson absolutely crushes Matz. If you look at his numbers, I think he's hitting like 330 with like 3 or 4 home runs and like 13 ABs. Simmons hits him well too. I just see the Jays last night. I mean, they're hitting 206 the past 7 days. They had all that drama with the Tampa Bay Rays last night and like the fake benches clearing, like, oh, we're not going to hit anybody. They're just I feel like the Jays are lost right now, and I don't think this game tonight is going to get them back on. Maybe game 2 will get them back after they lose tonight. I just like first 5. I do like full game 2, and I do like the over. I know we had a bunch of guys in the chat that like the over. I do expect some runs here, but I'm taking the bullpens out of it, and I'm just going to roll with the Twins after their sweep of the Cubs, and I'm rolling with Pineda pitching his best baseball of the year.
What a fascinating breakdown. And the chat really loving your look on the Twins. I don't think the Jays are lost. I love the breakdown. And I loved Baraki. Baraki threw at Kiermaier like a seasoned veteran. Hit him in the perfect spot. Handled it perfectly. Walked towards him. I think it galvanizes the troops. And, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him. But I do think this bet is, implied probability wise and judging the market, and we'll go into it a little deeper. It makes a ton of sense. And Donaldson does hit him hard, 3 homers, 4 for 13, but as a squad, they're 7 for 39 against Mats. But I don't really trust those numbers. And the Jays can get the Pineda. Now,
they definitely can. That's why it's plus 126 yesterday or plus 110 now. I mean, all the main, stats when it comes to batter versus pitcher and, based upon the whole team and all that stuff. But a lot of the times, that stuff matters and the public see that, and that's what they bet on that. But that's why we're getting plus lines. That's why we're taking a shot here. Obviously, if I had to rank them, this would be my third best play of today. I do like those first two a lot more, but I mean, gotta risk money and make money, and especially in baseball, when you risk, when your reward is better than what you risk. I mean, I'm all about that in the long run. If you're over 50% or 50% on those, then I mean, obviously we're making money here. So that's all the stats point towards. It's probably closer to an even pick'em game or a first 5, or maybe even a little bit towards the Jays. But in this spot with all the exterior and the swings and what's going on here, I think the Twins are a lot better than plus 120 or plus 110.
Yeah, I get it. And look, I watch you year after year beat MLB, and that's why I wanted you on the show for so long. Noli Knows has 3 looks: Pirates, Phillies, first 5 under 4.5, Cardinals, Brewers under 8, Giants, Padres under 7.5. Well, I am going to move on the first 5 over 5 in this spot. When we take a look at the cash flow, 72% of the tickets, 74% of the cash on the Jays, and the market's moving towards the Twins. I think I really like the look that all you guys are on. Then we have 56% of tickets on the over and 98% of cash on the over. And both bullpens are pitching very well. Well, the Twins bullpen's pitching very well. The Jays bullpen is being improved. And I'm going to move on this first 5 over. That also kind of correlates with your breakdown. And I love it. There we go. Hunter Englehart making his first appearance here on Pub Sports Radio, and I love it. Hunter, we need more of you on this show. Thank you for sharing your hard work and insights with us. Let's review Hunter's action once more. He's on the first 5 under 4 at plus 103 in Cards Brew Crew. He's on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 101 in Pirates Phillies. And he's on the Twins first 5 at plus 126. Hunter, thank you so much. And that's where we find him on Twitter at the Englehart. Can we pop that up there? At the Englehart right there. Follow our man on Twitter. And thank you, Hunter. Will you come back and join us again? We need more of you.
Well, if I hit 2 out of these 3, I'll be back. But if I go for 3, probably won't be. No, I'm just joking. We'll be back, man. This is fun. You guys do it right, man. You got a great group of guys in the chat. It's not just a chat where people just say, random stuff. I mean, everybody's interacting and bouncing stats off each other that, contradict what people are saying, but it's not in a negative way. It's in a, hey, did you look at this angle as well? Which helps everybody be a better capper. And this group of guys and the low bag community, I just love hanging out and having fun with you guys every day. You do it right, Jimmy, and everybody here. Thanks again for commenting and being a part of this.
I love it. There he is, the Englehart, Hunter Englehart, making his Pub Sports Radio debut. He will be back. Great job. All right, let's review action here. I'll start out with my action. We'll go over the showcase plays of the days, and then we'll go over Hunter's action. I'm off this White Sox-Indians game 1. There's a lot of very interesting weather situations, and I do think that we can read a lot into what's going to happen in game 2 once we see what goes on in game 1. It's cold, but it's blowing out heavy, and the market has gone from 7.5 to 7. Dommy Gun Ricci is on the over, but the market's moved to the under. It's a very interesting spot. The Dodgers first 5 minus 1. As soon as this show's over, I'm going to have to study harder into exactly what's gone on with Scherzer at Coors Field. So that is a pending possible bet. Then Mariners, A's, I am off, but I don't think I should be. I think that Bassett coming back onto the mound after taking that ball in the face is going to really galvanize the troops. I think it's really going to change the energy after losing and having a tough time with the Mariners. You see your teammate getting up on that hill after taking that ball to the face. How does it not pump you up? I don't know how it doesn't pump you up. You know what? I'm taking the A's first 5. Maybe this is too much of a gut feeling rather than a statistical based bet, but how do you not get pumped up when you see your teammate back on the hill? I have to move on the A's first 5. I have to think that it pumps everybody up. First 5 under 4.5, and the Diamondbacks first 5 plus a half at even money. I want to bet. Look, the Braves are not hitting lefties, and Mad Bum is pitching well right now. I think that there's some value there on that plus line. Then we have the very interesting Giants Padres spot. We have Jose Seje play of the day on the Giants. We have the Foshizzle Xnizzle play of the day on the Giants. We have TJ's play of the day on the Giants. And at this point, I think I'll be a very, very interested viewer. And I just don't know if, I'm not sure what to do with that spot. Then we have Nats, Reds, a stay off spot for me, a Baltimore, Texas. If I had a free bet, I'd be happy to take Glenn Otto against Zach Lowther, but I can't put my heart and my family at risk on this fucking train wreck of a ball game. The first 5 under 4.5 in Astros Angels was a spot that Ski Profit talked about, and was it Joe Chris? Somebody else is on that first 5 under 4.5, and it makes sense to me. And that's the first taint play of the day, Astros run line. Mike M's Pimp Slap play of the day. Sorry, it wasn't Joe Chris. Mike M's Pimp Slap play of the day is Angels first 5 under 4.5. I like it. I'm on it. Then we get to Hunter Englehart. He's on the first 5 under 4 at plus 103 in Cardinals Brewers, and it should be 3.5. And the roof is open and 16 miles per hour to right. And I'm going to cheer Hunter on in that spot. Then he's on the first 5 under 4.5 at minus 101. Another spot that statistically I get completely, but with the rain going to push the starting time back. And then I'm trusting that Aaron Nola has a great start. Will he be out of his routine if he has to sit there for 2 hours? It's enough for me not to bet it. Then Hunter's on the Twins first 5 plus 126. I'm going to take the first 5 over 5 in Jays Twins. And that is our MLB breakdown. Sean Tom says the longer Bassett goes, the harder they will play. A's are low hanging, in my opinion. Ooh. Michael Overlina says, Jimmy, we are low baggers. We all ride together. Giants money line. Hop on. Let's ride that W. Look, it's just, for me, I never want to have a card that has many road favorites. And we know the public is going to be all over the Giants, and the books put it at a plus line initially, knowing that they would take a ton of money. Webb is not as good on the road as he is at home, and they've got good numbers against Webb. And Darvish is capable of doing what he just did to the Cardinals. And it's not that I don't agree with you guys. Oh, God. Look at that face. Look at that guy. That's my disappointed father right there. So I get it. But nothing for me here. Top set, no spreadsheet play today for Ron Crawford. All right, let's move into the gridiron. Let's move into NFL next up. And we have a very interesting spot here, 8:20 p.m. Eastern, Carolina Panthers at Houston Texans, Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. This is the first Thursday night that I have bet. I've stayed off for the first 2 weeks of the Thursday games, and I'm nervous. I am 21-8 on the season, so I feel very confident. That shit can change fast, and I'm really nervous about moving on this first Thursday. Let's start with the market, and let's start with the cash flow, and we will move on. So here we go. Starting from a market standpoint, we know that the Texans looked very good with Tyrod Taylor at the helm, and now we have Stanford product Davis Mills, who did not look good in his second half of play. We have Carolina opening up at -7. They're now at -8. Sports Interactions moved to 8.5. Bet Online's kept it at 7.5. The total in this game is 43.5, and it has moved to 43 at a couple books. And if you want the over 43.5 at Pinnacle right now, they'll give you a plus line. I moved on the Panthers first half -4. That is now 4.5. And Sports Interactions moved to 5. And look at this. Heritage has moved it to 5.5. Holy shit. So money coming in on that first half. I'm also on the Texans team total under 16.5 at -120. And that hasn't changed in my book. There are rumors that money's coming in on the Texans team total over 16.5, but that has not changed. It's still -110 to the over and -120 to the under. Dommy Gun is on Panthers -4. Took it Sunday night. So first half -4 must be right, because let's just see what Bet Online had for this spot. Oh shit, sorry. Tell me that's if you got first. Oh my God, yeah. On Sunday morning before the game started, the Panthers are -3.5. But Dommy Gun says, yeah, it's first half. Okay. Larry Garr, long shot play today. Panthers defense, anytime touchdown plus 500. I also like Panthers defense, first touchdown score plus 2,100. Larry Garr, that's a fascinating bet that is really exciting and does make a ton of sense to me. There's Mr. Gokster in the house. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to copy and paste that Larry Garr look right now. Copy and paste that. Here we go. All right, let's break down this spot. And then next up, we have NCAA football. Here we go. And let's just take a quick look at what the cappers in the chat are talking about. Curb stomp play of the day is Houston first half plus 4.5. If you guys want Houston first half, wait. If you want Houston in any way, wait. Be as disciplined as you possibly can. Wait till 10 minutes before kickoff. Trotway, I'm liking the Panthers first half. Sean Thompson on the Panthers -7. And Dommy Gun says, I'll have a video of the best and worst total and spread teams in NCAA football by tomorrow. I love that. Ski Profit leaning to the Texans. And the curb stomp play of the day is 4-0 from Mikey M. Ulysses Hayes, Carolina money line. I guess you're using that as a parlay piece. Top set says tease Texans to plus 14.5 and under on Panthers and under. And he wants a pull on that spot. And Dommy Gun Ricci with Larry Garr on the Mills over interceptions is a look. And Real Deal Prime saying Darnold has weapons for the first time, and it's showing. Ulysses Hayes is on the over at 43. Ixnizzle is on the Panthers -7. And top set Texas +5 is probably the right side first half. Birdie is on the Panthers -4. I knew that Birdie was on the Panthers -4 before the NFL show. And while we were breaking this game down, I realized that I want to back him on that spot. Okay. And Ski Profit says, is home team or no team not a thing anymore? I guess what happened, Ski, with the home team or no team on Thursday night was we had a year without fans in the stands. And that's, I think, the only reason why it changed. But a very good point to bring that up. Dommy Gun says Panthers don't close out games. They eat clock when they're up 10 or more. And says be careful. And Jamal Stone, our guy, says every primetime game has gone over 43. It's way too low even for this bad Texans team. Give Carolina team total over and full game over easy money. So I think for me here is that Carolina just wants to get in and out. They want the clock to be moving. They don't want anyone to get hurt. And I do not expect them to run up the score. They had 28 first downs compared to New Orleans' 6 first downs last week. They rack up 383 yards. With 28 first downs, you would think they'd be able to score more than 26 points, but they didn't care about that. For guys looking at Christian McCaffrey props in this game, it's not that I don't like them. It's that I wish you could bet them first half. Because if it's 26-7, like it was last week, McCaffrey's sitting on the bench, resting. I do not want to put him in any kind of situation where he can get hurt if I'm up over 2 scores at all. At all. Brady said Dan Kelly gave out great advice Tuesday night. Favorite first half dog full game. That hook may come into play. Extendal says, my question is, do the Texans kind of play the same defense that we see the Lions play against the Packers? And is Christian McCaffrey eating on receiving yards? Ray Charles says Millsy's our guy, MMA locker room, says, is Mills going to turn the ball over a lot? And Dommy Gunn says, you got to bet McCaffrey combined, not pass or run. They mix it up. And Larry Garr on the Texas team total under 9 first half. So DJ Moore last week and this year has looked very good. 8 catches for 79 yards. But it's Carolina's defense that has stepped up. 10 sacks, 3 interceptions through 2 weeks. And they know what it means to start 3-0. I see them being so focused in the first half, and I see them running the clock in the second half. To the extent where I would be more interested in the under than the over. And I know if I was coaching this team, it would be just an in and out healthy. In and out healthy would be the only thing on my mind. At this point, we have 35,849 tickets in. On the spread, 28% of tickets are on Houston and 59% of the cash. That alone would want me to have nothing to do with the Panthers full game. That alone. Then we have 41% of tickets on the under, just 41%, and 51% cash on the under. Now, that would make me want to bet the under. And I sort of have the under with the team total under 16.5 for the Texans. We've talked a lot about what Caserio did in the offseason with this defense. And they're all fighting. They were all fighting for a job. They all were 1-year and 2-year contracts, and I fucking loved it. And I said that in the offseason. Tommy Gunn says Panthers scored 24-7 points. And Nick Schnitzel says, so from that breakdown, I'm looking at Hubbard over rushing props. Michael Rivelina is on a Robbie Anderson anytime TD. And Noli No says defense travels, offense sometimes doesn't. And look, I backed Texans week 1. I stayed off of the Browns week 2 because I like what they're doing over there. There was a garbage fire, and they put out the fire, and they're trying to build something. Davis Mills is the problem. So he did throw a 2-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks. He went 8 for 18 for 102 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I think it's easier to come into a game when you don't know you're coming in. Now he's had all week to think about being the starting quarterback against the Panthers defense that looks very strong and is very healthy. Ingram wasn't able to move the ball against the Browns, and Brandon Cooks did look dangerous all game. And then they got injuries to deal with. Eric Murray concussion, Terrence Mitchell concussion is in protocol. It doesn't look like Eric Murray is, but there's a safety and a quarterback, and then safety Justin Reed is banged up, but it looks like he's going to play. And Danny Amendola is not going to be there. Ixnizzle says, Jimmy, wouldn't Hubbard over rushing prop be a good look if you think they're going to be blowing them out by halftime? Look, I don't think they're going to be blowing them out. I think this is a spot where Sam Darnold has to be very, very conservative. I could see a 14-6 score at halftime or a 14-9 score at halftime. I doubt 14-9, maybe 14-3 score at halftime. I really think that this is a game. The more I talk about this, the more I want to bet the under, but I certainly don't want to have 3 bets here on Thursday night. Dennis Trusty says showcase games that are played at one time, Thursday night or Sunday night, Monday, have averaged total of 58.3 points, low score is 48. Overs just seem to happen. That's new. Noli No says maybe Houston team total under. I'm already on that. Dommy Gunn is on Robbie, longest pass, 18.5, longest catch, 18.5 yards. And now adding the TD, tailing the low baggers. Birdie, this is such an important note, Birdie. I love it. It says, Browns did not blitz one time last week for Mills. They're going to be ready. They're going to have multiple players in the backfield, in the secondary. They're going to know at all times that it doesn't matter because Mark Ingram can't beat them. Barton Nelson says, live bet this game. The main thing for me is I don't want to have too much invested in this game. I'm already nervous betting on my first Thursday night of the year. Ski said, did you mention the market? Yeah, I did mention the market. And that's why I said I would be uncomfortable with that Panthers full game here when 72% of the tickets are on the Panthers and 41% of the cash. And then we have 40% of tickets, 51% of cash on the other. If I had a free bet, I'd take the under, but I'm certainly not going to add when I'm already on the Texans team total under 16.5. So, Panthers first half is a look I like, and I like it at -4. I'm happy I got it at -4. Seeing it move up to 5.5 at some books is a lot. And Ski Profit says home team or no team fans are back. THC is Rizza. First half under is a good look. Lots of running time, possession type of game. I get that for sure. THC is Rizza, but if the Panthers are up, they just want that clock to tick and to get out of Dodge. So there's the breakdown for Panthers Texans. And after all of it, I do not want to make another player prop bet all season. I went over my numbers from last year and the year before, and my local access Bet365. Did you see the juice Bet365 takes on player props? -120 on each side. There's no way that you can win for the next 30 years if every bet you make is -120. And if you do win, what are you gonna? You're gonna hit 53.5% and be down money, or hit 54% and be up by the tiniest of slivers? Lamont Williams, max bet, St. Louis Cardinals. Greg Smith says Panthers blitz schemes are going to shut down Texas run game. Full game should be a good look if Panthers can score in the red zone. Well, this will be my first Thursday night of the year, and I'm so excited to watch it. I'm also so excited about our NCAA football game that's up next. So, again, I'm on the Texans team total under 16.5 at -120, and I'm on the Panthers first half -4. And Mike M says, I really think they're a waste of time too, Jim. They're overjuiced and lots of variables. Look, we see cappers like Sharpie and Dutchy, and we see cappers beat the player prop market. And I respect it. And it's a different way of capping. And it's so crucial to track your action so that you know what you're succeeding at and what you're not. Okay, we move on to college football. And trust me, what happened to me in college football is scaring me for NFL. In college football, I opened up 14-3, and now I'm sitting 19-17. So the first 2 weeks, I opened up 14-3. The first 2 weeks of NFL, I opened up 21-8 and 20-6 on sides and totals. I'm scared because of what's happened to me in college football. And I got cocky in college football. And I'm not cocky in NFL because I know that's where the books make all their money. All right, let's go. NCAA football. Marshall thundering herd at Appalachian State Kid Brewer Stadium in Boone, baby, North Carolina. Let's start with the market, and I've not moved on this game. Let's start with the market, and then we'll move into the cash flow, and then we will break down this game. And we know these two offenses look very good. And the fact that Bryce looks as good is a surprise. And these defenses don't look anything like last year. And last year's Marshall 17-7 win, this couldn't be more different. Let's break it down. Doyle Beefcake in the house is on App State. Harold Williams on Marshall App over 28.5. Let's go. First off, Marshall opening up as 7.5-point dogs. They're now 7-point dogs. We'll move over to totals. Luce Fox says, great point, Jimmy. I quit betting NBA last year for the same reason, being richer since. Last year's NBA threw me for a loop, and I went on a losing streak in props. I was like, just made me want to, dive to the pavement from my 8th floor balcony. Okay, the total opened up at 57. It's now at 58.5, and Intertops and Heritage have moved it to 59. So is Bodog. Let's just look at this total a little bit closer because it's very, very interesting. It opens at 57 at Pinnacle on Sunday. By noon, it goes down to 56. By 2:45, it goes down to 55.5. So it tells me that the sharps that are looking at this market so closely, that are waiting for these spots to drop, attack the under. Then feels like the public starts betting the over because of these teams' offenses. At 3 o'clock, it goes up to 57.5. 3:30, it goes up to 58.5. At 1 p.m. the following day, so on Tuesday, it goes to 59.5. On Tuesday afternoon, it goes up to 60.5, and that is its high watermark. So at midnight, Tuesday, moving into Wednesday, it's at 60.5. 7 in the morning on Wednesday, 59.5, and now it's at 58.5. I think that is important. Okay. So, Real Jolly Roger says Marshall is still shell-shocked from that fourth quarter. Charles Huff is certainly shell-shocked from that fourth quarter against East Carolina. Both teams have played East Carolina. Let's move into the cash flow here, and then we'll begin the breakdown. From a cash flow side of things, 7,931 tickets in, 59% of the tickets on App State, and 72% of the cash on App State. Then we have 43% of tickets on the under and 73% of cash on the under. Kevin Riley, 4-unit best bet is on Marshall +7. I find the market's moves on this game unbelievably fascinating, and I find it so much fun to cap. I can't wait to break this game down with you guys. I'll be keeping a close eye on the chat, and Jose will be highlighting your comments. Marshall opened their season with a 49-7 shellacking of Navy in Annapolis as just 3-point favorites. They followed that up by not covering at home, 44-10 in a win over North Carolina Central as 43-point favorites. Then last week, their defense looked awful, especially in that fourth quarter, losing 42-38 at home as 10-point favorites over East Carolina. They led 38-21 and were outscored 21-0 in the fourth quarter. You know that Huff is not happy. Last year, Marshall beat the Mountaineers 17-7 in Huntington, West Virginia. They've won the last 3 meetings versus App State. But now we go to Boone. Grant Wells looks awesome. 3rd nationally with 371 passing yards per game. He started with 333 yards passing against Navy, then 347 yards and 3 touchdowns versus an FCS opponent, North Carolina Central. But last week, 433 yards through the air against ECU. He averages 9.6 yards per pass attempt. That's top 15 in America. But he's been intercepted 5 times. He was intercepted twice last week. He was picked off at the goal line with 6 seconds left. Could he be seeing ghosts? And is he using Rasheen Ali enough? Because this guy is a monster. 7 rushing touchdowns. 293 yards rushing. That's 3rd in Conference USA. 9 receptions as well. The guy is extremely dangerous. Matty Ice says it's going to be cold in Boone. Let's pull up the weather right now in Boone. And I've got to be done in 4 minutes because right after this, we have Ian Cameron's football frenzy. So I got to be done in 4 minutes. And I could sit here talking about this game all day. So let's move over to Boone, North Carolina weather. So tonight. Ooh, it gets cold. So it at kickoff, it's about 53. Then it gets down to 47. It'll be down to 44 by midnight with no wind. It's going to be cold. Okay. Mike M says this battle screams mismatches. Offense versus defense on both sides. Love a score fest and the over here. Real Deal Prime is on Marshall taking the upset. So the question is Wells, after throwing these picks and realizing that it doesn't matter how many yards you put up, because that was his career high, 433. It matters about getting the W, and that's using Rasheen Ali more. They're scoring 43.7 points per game. That's 10th on the FBS leaderboard. Marshall is second in total offense with 603.7 yards per game. Now, defense. Last year, they allowed 4.4 yards per play. This year, 4.67. Let's move over to App State. A very impressive 33-19 win at home over East Carolina's 9-point favorites in the opener. They follow that up with a very impressive showing, 25-23 loss at then number 22 ranked Miami Hurricanes as 7.5-point dogs. Then they easily beat Elon at home. I mean, who cares? They didn't cover, but they beat them 44-10. They were 35.5-point favorites. Look, Chase Bryce, tons of question marks about him, always, right? This is his third team. He starts at Clemson. Then he moves over to Duke. And last year, he threw 15 picks. Duke turned over the ball nonstop all year. Now he comes over to App State, completing 70% of his passes, 751 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, while averaging 8.7 yards per attempt. Last week, 293 yards passing, 19 for 25, and 11.7 yards per attempt, and ran for a touchdown. We know what Cameron Peoples does. He runs the ball down your throat. He's a monster. And App State's defense was top 15 last year, and now they're 61st at allowing 5.13 yards per carry. It's going to be cold. And I can't help but think that Sharps moved on the under, public came in on the over. And look, when I was capping this game, I was like, of course, it's going to be a score fest. Look at these offenses. But maybe the Sharps are looking at these two running games and thinking it's going to be cold and they're going to be running the ball. Real Jolly Roger says Marshall is up by 20 in the fourth. You actually have to be worried. I want to bet the under. And I want to back the dog. But I honestly don't know if I have the balls or the trust to back either. Robert Cherry, I believe it's 26.5. Robert Cherry asking what the Panthers team total over is. If I was going to make a move, make a third bet or a team total in that spot, it would be a first half, not a full game over. The full game, they're 26.5, juice to the over, and in the first half they are 13.5. Kevin Riley says Sharps don't always win. Yeah, no, I get it. And the spreadsheet play of the day is in. Ron Crawford coming in late with a spreadsheet play of the day on Toronto. Ooh-wee. Spreadsheet play of the day on the Blue Jays for Ron Crawford. So when it comes down to it, I want the under based purely on the market, not based on the statistical analysis, unless you're focusing on the fact that they're going to be running the ball more. Osby says, I'll take a shot with the +7 and call it a day. I don't know if I can do either. Jose, you seem disappointed.
We ran a poll, Jimmy. 80% of people think that you should bet the Giants. 80%.
Man. Ron Crawford, we love you. No problem here. I'm going to pop the J. So I'm on that first 5/5. Okay, we got to go. Football Frenzy starts right now. Look, I don't think I'm going to move on it. I wanted to talk it out with you guys, and I don't think I'm going to move on this college football game. I don't trust Marshall. The market is telling me to bet the under. The stats are telling me to bet the over. And I've got enough action. I've got 2 bets in NFL, and it looks like 3 or 4 in MLB. So I got to go. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Go over to Babano's Football Frenzy right now. I'm sure he's going to be talking about this game heavy. So run over to Babano's show. Don't forget, we have horse racing show. It starts a little bit later, 8 p.m. Eastern, because our Razor Sharp Picks is celebrating Wifey's birthday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, closing line MLB shows at 4 p.m. And Razor Sharp's horse racing show and football show tonight at 8 p.m. Love you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. I would shout you all out individually, but you guys got to go over to Babano's big Football Frenzy show. So I will just say, on behalf of Jose, myself, and everybody at Pub Sports Radio, we know that it is the chat that makes this show special, and that is you guys. I did a review of the show, and Jose breaks the show up in chapters. So if you want to see another review, that will be one of the chapters that Jose breaks up. So we won't go over it now because we've gone over time. Thank you guys so much. Let's have another winning day. We have 6 straight winning shows. 6 straight winning shows. Most importantly, though, fucking Leche, this motherfucker. Leche, this shit. Leche, hey, those bookmakers!